A few weeks ago, we told you about the political turmoil in the Philippines triggered by the widening rift between the Vice President, Sara Duterte, and the President, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Remember, the Vice President had said that she had hired a hitman to kill the President, his wife, and the lower house speaker in the event that she herself were killed. The power struggle has continued, and now an influential church in the country, known for its disciplined bloc voting that can swing the voters, has reportedly decided to oppose impeachment efforts against Duterte. Let's break it down for you. The Iglesia Ni Cristo, or INC, which was founded 110 years ago and boasts over 2.8 million members, announced plans for a peaceful protest through its media networks on December 4. According to a report by the South China Morning Post, the church has said that it plans to support the opinion of President Marcos Jr. that opposes an impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte, quote unquote. Just last month, impeachment complaints were filed by progressive groups in the House of Representatives against Duterte following her explosive accusations of incompetence against Marcos Jr. Not just that, the complaint was also filed over her controversial admission of hiring an assassin to avenge her death should she be killed. However, it did not stop there, as a second impeachment complaint was filed against Duterte, but just days back, for allegedly misusing government funds. What's more, the complaint filed by a left-wing political coalition even demanded that Duterte be removed from her post and permanently debarred from holding public office. Meanwhile, Marcos Jr. had earlier called the impeachment efforts counterproductive, as he said that they would only tie down Congress and not help people. The two leaders, Duterte and Ferdinand Marcos Jr., have been caught in this power struggle for a while now. Interestingly, just over 2 years ago, both President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Vice President Sara Duterte campaigned as a united front under the Marcos Duterte Uniteam coalition in the 2022 election. The INC's influence stems largely from its rigid discipline and its practice of bloc voting. What happens there? Basically, members are instructed to vote as a unified bloc, according to the church leadership's endorsements. In fact, the practice of bloc voting, which had become a defining feature of the church, was rooted in its doctrine of unity. Insiders say this practice has made the church a sought-after ally for politicians at all levels of government. Therefore, election recommendations made by the church are taken extremely seriously and are followed by at least 1 million eligible voters, as per experts. With the Philippines' midterm elections coming up in May next year, the INC's bloc vote could prove to be critical. The global arms race is intensifying, with superpowers ramping up missile development at a rather alarming pace. Russia flaunted its advanced Oreshnik missile, the US tested missile interceptors in Guam, and Australia flexed its military muscle with Tomahawk cruise missiles. The world seems to be edging closer to a dangerous confrontation as countries are prioritizing firepower over diplomacy, it seems. Our next report telling you more.
Russian President Vladimir Putin issues a stark warning to the West, boasting that the Oreshnik missile reduces the need for nuclear weapons. The nuclear-capable medium-range ballistic missile fired by Russia from Ukraine's Dnipro region for the first time last month is now a critical part of Moscow's arsenal. Putin's message is clear. With Oreshnik's precision and speed, Russia is less reliant on nuclear deterrence, though the implications are equally chilling. The missile's hypersonic capabilities enable it to strike European capitals in 12 minutes, posing a direct challenge to NATO's defenses. The West is escalating its own preparations. The US successfully intercepts a medium-range ballistic missile during tests near Guam, marking a pivotal milestone in American missile defense. The test highlights efforts to fortify Guam, a strategic Western Pacific territory closer to potential adversary China than any US state. The Pentagon's multi-billion-dollar defense plan seeks to make Guam one of the most secure military installations on Earth, underscoring fears of evolving threats in the Indo-Pacific. Australia enters the global missile race, becoming only the third nation after the US and UK to test-fire the Tomahawk cruise missile. The test from HMAS Brisbane signals Canberra's strategic intent, with plans to acquire over 200 Tomahawk missiles to arm its warships. Moscow is irked over allowing Ukraine to fire Western-supplied long-range weapons on its territory. Besides, US has announced that it would be deploying new hypersonic missiles along with Tomahawks in Germany from 2026. Belarus now says that Russia would be deploying hypersonic missiles on its own territory, citing fears of escalation due to the presence of Polish and Lithuanian troops near Belarus's western border. As missile development surges globally, the risk of miscalculation and catastrophic conflict looms large. Without immediate dialogue and action, this unchecked competition could trigger devastating consequences for global stability.
Our next story is about a grave threat that has surrounded us from all sides. It is everywhere in many forms, some extremely tiny, but still extremely dangerous. I'm talking about the menace of plastics, a monster created by us human beings and now choking our environment. Microplastics have been detected in water samples around the world at levels that are extremely concerning. In fact, one estimate suggesting an alarming figure. The average human being ingests around 4,000 plastic particles in drinking water annually. 4,000. Can you believe that? This is a horror story, one of our own making. In fact, microplastics and nanoplastics, that are tiny bits of plastic, have been found in several parts of our bodies, including our brain, the cardiovascular system. Research earlier found that microplastics can be passed from pregnant mothers to their unborn offspring. Marine life has been found with plastic objects suffocating them. Given the magnitude and the intensity of the crisis, what if there was a way out? No magic wand, but a rather unique solution that could perhaps help. A sponge made of cotton and squid bone that has reportedly absorbed about 99.9% of microplastics in water samples in China. A sponge. In fact, according to the University of Wuhan study authors, the filter's production appears to be scalable. Large-scale production of the new material is reportedly possible because the raw materials are easy to get, as per the authors. And this is crucial because this could help mitigate the issue that cropped up with previous microplastic filtration systems that did their job in controlled setups but had a major setback. They could not be scaled up. Could this sponge be the answer to one of the world's most serious public health crises? There could perhaps be some hope on the horizon, but there is no running away from the plastic monster that we have created.